I started playing piano before I could even say the word piano, but I didn't take my first piano lesson until I was closer to my teenage years. By that time, I wanted to play drums, because who doesn't want to play drums? Somehow I managed to convince my parents to buy me a drum set. I mean, they're both percussion instruments after all. And I played that for a couple of years, loved every minute of it, by the way. But there came a point in time where I kind of needed to play guitar as well. So, bless them, once again, my parents bought me my first electric guitar, which I still have to this day, by the way. I played that for a couple of years, thought I was so cool until I saw what one of my friends could do on his acoustic guitar, and naturally, I had to have one of those as well. Friend, you can see a couple of guitars here behind me. Music is still a very big part of my life. But I would say, while I'm okay at all of these instruments, I'm not really great or an expert at any one of them. And so today I want to talk about what it looks like to get hyper focused in a certain niche or niche. I don't like the way that sounds. We're going to go with niche. You can decide for yourself if you want to call it something else. But we're going to focus in one area where we can truly define ourselves, our strategy, and build our business, build our brand around that one idea. So today is all about defining your niche. And I've got 3 reasons why I believe you should do just that. Now, the first is very simple, very obvious. It helps you focus. When you're not spread so thin, trying to figure out all the different avenues, venues, gear required to film in certain locations, circumstances, situations, you can get hyper focused in one area, and then you become an expert in the area, right? You know exactly what gear you need to bring. You know how to coach your subjects through the filming process. You know everything that needs to take place before it happens because you've done it before. For example, my bread and butter happens to be corporate videos for technology companies. I've spent more than a decade in the tech industry, both as a sales and marketing professional, but also as a creative filming in these environments. I've worked with entry-level employees from sales development representatives all the way on up to the CEO. So I'm very comfortable having these conversations and navigating some of that uncomfortability that comes along with speaking on camera, especially for someone who doesn't do it every day as their full-time job. People are going to recognize you as the video guy or the video girl. And once they know that you know how to work a camera, they'll start asking you to do some fun things. Doesn't mean it's in your wheelhouse or you need to agree to it or commit to it. For example, I've been asked to shoot a wedding, which I did once, but I would never market myself as a wedding videographer. I believe that there is so much prep, there's different types of gear, there's an entire plan that needs to be outlined to stay out of the way of photographers, to navigate the whole ceremony. Now, one nice thing I will say about weddings as a side tangent is they're pretty predictable, right? You pretty much have the ceremony, you have a reception or a happy hour, and then there's some dancing. You can kind of guesstimate what the flow of the night is going to look like. However, I wouldn't call myself a wedding videographer by any stretch. I give those folks so much credit. Now, I've also been asked to shoot a funeral, which fortunately ended up being more of like a celebration of life event, kind of a party celebrating the person who had passed. I won't be doing that again, by the way. Way out of my comfort zone, way out of my expertise where I shine, but I did find an opportunity there and I learned a lot in that experience. Friend, it's okay to say no if something doesn't quite align with your values or with the direction that you want to go. If you want some experience trying something new, go for it. But if you're trying to market yourself as one type of videographer, one type of producer, stay in that lane, get really, really good at it so that people know you're the person to go to. Now, I did allude to gear a little bit when talking about the whole wedding thing, so I want to talk about that next. Number 2 here for why I believe you should define your niche is so that you don't overspend on unnecessary gear. I do believe that certain productions require different gear. You may need multiple camera setups. You may need an entire lighting setup. You may need different mics, multiple mics. You might need lav mics or shotgun mics. There's so much, as I've talked about on this channel, about gear in general. And of course, I've built this entire channel to help you not overspend on gear, right? Pro video without pro gear. We're trying to get the most with what we have and stretch our dollar as far as possible. So if you are trying to do everything, you're going to end up buying all these things that you're rarely going to use. So get hyper focused, figure out the area that you want to be moving to. It could be real estate, it could be wedding videography, it could be YouTube videos like this one. Figure out where you want to live And friend, you'll start building out your arsenal of gear around that. Now, I will take a quick pause here to give you the shameless plug. If you want to learn more about some budget gear, things that you can do amazing, high quality stuff with, go to guidedproductions.com. I'll put a link to it in the description below, but it is my downloadable PDF guide that walks you through all of the gear needed to make high quality content. I'll talk about cameras, of course, and lenses, lights, mics, everything that you need to build a studio. And I have it listed out at different price points. So no matter where you're coming in, you could be coming in with $200, you could be coming in with $3,000 or $4,000, friend. I will help you decide where to spend that so that you can get the best looking content without overspending on that gear. All right, and number 3, the third reason why I believe you have to define your niche is so that you can ultimately build credibility in the marketplace. If you are truly treating yourself as a business, as a producer, a videographer, people need to know who they're coming to and why they're coming to you. As I said before, I'm not a wedding videographer. I don't market myself as a wedding videographer. If anybody's gonna ask me to shoot a wedding, it's because we're friends and they know I have a camera. And we will have a lengthy conversation about how I am not a wedding videographer. So you cannot hold it against me what comes out. Now, I do know a thing or two, so I'm sure I could do a great job. But the point here is that I know where I shine. And so I can walk into an office, I can sit down with a couple of managing partners, CEOs, executives, marketing directors, you name it. I can have a conversation with them, paint the picture, write out a script and storyboard, show them exactly what it is that I see, the vision. I'll cast the vision for them, and then I'll give a price that I'm very confident in. One, because I know they can afford it based on the company. And two, I know what my videos are worth in that space. I know that I can produce really high quality content in the corporate environment. And so I get very comfortable and confident walking into those conversations. Whereas if I'm asked to shoot a promo video for a car race, that sounds epic and a lot of fun, and I would love the experience. But friend, that's not my forte. That's not that's not what I've done before. In fact, I've never done that before. And so I wouldn't feel as confident walking in there and having that conversation. Once again, I will say, if you're starting out and you're trying new things, you're trying to figure out what it is that you really want to be known for, well, then of course, accept all the projects that hit your desk and try new things, just with the caveat of understanding that you're going to be delivering work that may not be professional or expert level in all of these categories. Now, once you find that area that you feel really confident in, you get really passionate and excited about, dive headfirst into that and build your entire brand around that niche. Because now people come to you, you're the credible one in the room. You can name a price and they're going to say yes, because who else are they going to go to that can produce work at this level doing what it is that you do in this specific niche or industry? Friend, you'll get hyper focused, so you won't be spread thin trying to figure out how to do things on the fly. It'll be so good for you. And of course, you won't be overspending on unnecessary gear because you'll only be focused in your lane. Friend, if you have any questions about this, I know I talked about my film studio gear guide earlier in the video. I also want to give you a link to my 6 steps to creating better video guide. It's 2 guides. I know it's a lot for one video. I'll put a link to this in the description as well. Otherwise, you can go to guidedproductions.com/bettervideoguide. But this is where I take you through the entire production journey from idea to export. I've got a checklist in there so that you can follow along and nail every step every single time. If you are just starting out, if you're still trying to figure out your niche or your industry, your bread and butter, if you will, by using this guide, you won't need to think about the fundamentals. It will be outlined for you. That way you're freed up to focus on building your process, your workflow, and determining which niche you're most passionate about. Friend, I appreciate the time that you've spent here with me today. If you have any questions about this, leave a comment below and I would be happy to help any way that I can. Until then, have an amazing day. Figure out the niche that makes you the most excited, and I will see you on another video real soon.